Hello everybody, this is Professor Hassey again. This is a short video explaining your first case study in Business 635 for this term. Case study number 1, which happens to be a financial analysis case where you're selecting a real-world corporation and finding out some interpretation and information. Now let me explain to you the nature of our assessments at this level of finance study in our MBA program. Your job in this program is to learn strategy. In order to learn strategy, you have to understand what's going on in a corporation that you're going to be designing that strategy for. And that's the business and that's the nature of case study number 1. Can you interpret financial data in your interpretation, not somebody else's, about what's happening at a particular company? This format for this case study is in the APA format, which I'll explain in a few minutes, and it is due on Saturday, October 19th. So you have almost 2 weeks to prepare and get this going. You also have 2 weeks to ask me questions and concerns and problems with finding the data. I have a separate library resources video that's already been posted to Blackboard that can aid you with the database and the information you will need to complete this work. Here's the case. This case is the first of 4 in our class that we're representing 15% of your course grade. You are to choose one of these 10 companies. One of them. And that one company, you are to do a financial statement analysis and recommendation based on the data you find. One of the key aspects of finance, as I mentioned earlier, is to not only understand strategy and investing in capital, but also in order to do that strategy, you have to realize what position your company is in relationship to its past, its present, and its future in regards to the industry and market that they're in. So after you select one company, now what has happened in the past, and I'll be honest with you, some students begin the work and then they find out, well, this company's not really it's not my cup of tea. You can go back and change your company and select another one and go ahead and from that point on, as long as you complete the work by Saturday, October 19th. So once you select the company, there are 3 questions you need to work on. The first question, as it says here, is to present a high-level financial statement analysis that identifies one key financial statement account, income statement, balance sheet, statement of cash flow, that bears further investigation, additional weight in the ratio analysis. So you are to select one of these financial statements and basically explain why you think this type of financial statement will be important to your analysis. What it says at this stage, no analytical presentation is required. In other words, all you do is identify which account you feel is valid to your analysis. The analytical impact will be addressed in the next segment when you select specific ratios to review from that statement. So in other words, you're an analyst. You're taking a look at a company. I think the income statement will give me the best representation of this company. I think the balance sheet. I think the statement of cash flow. You as the analyst select that and explain why you selected that statement in your paper. The second section is where you'd go specific. You now will identify ratios. Ratios in each type of class, and I'll explain that in a minute. And over a 3-year period, in other words, 3 fiscal years of the company, you are to do an analysis. The information is coming from the 10Ks, and as I explained earlier in a library resources video, this can all be found in the D&B Hoover's database from the Wilson Library. You can compare it to the industry averages, but that should not be your primary measurement of relative performance or primary focus of your paper. Your paper is designed to take a look at these trends and explain what they mean. The use of charts, graphs, tables are strongly encouraged to present this data. Don't just write out the answers. Show it in a graph, show it in a chart, show it in a table showing the numbers over a few of 3 years. Finally, within each class, a conclusion on the overall financial performance will be presented within the overall contents of the ratio analysis. There must be a logical integration of the significant accounts identified in the financial statement review to the selected ratio. In the overall presentation or paper, the key concept is to remember is that you should focus on the why, the how come, what caused, not what was of the ratio trend analysis. Example, if you picked Home Depot and you were looked at their profit margins over the course of 3 years in relationship to the income statement. The profit margins maybe have gone down. What have caused them to go down? Is the housing market slow? In your opinion, what is your interpretation of what has caused the profit margin to decrease? Not just simply tell me the profit margin decreased, but try to explain it in your own words. Now, yes, we are not professional financial analysis, but this is part of this financial review program. You ought to do your best in interpreting the data. Here's a page out of the textbook, page 119. This page is in your textbook that gives all the different types of ratios, selected financial information of a company by class. And this is what I mean by those classes. The liquidity, asset management class, debt management class, profitability class, and the market value class. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 classes. You are to select one of these in particular, one of these classes for each one of your financial analysis. Now, granted, in the statement of cash flows, you're going to be limited by the type of ratios you can do, but do the best you can. Probably the best ones would be the income statement and the balance sheet, because if you notice from page 119 of your text, the reason why I printed this out into a PDF form is because some of our students do not have textbooks. So this will help you select the classes you need to concentrate on in your writing. The third area is you'll present a conclusion. After you do the analysis, the student will then present an overall conclusion based solely on the overall financial performance presented, on the relative strength of the company. Finally, based solely on the financial performance of the company as presented in the ratio analysis, the student will recommend to sell, hold, or buy stock in the company. So you're doing a financial analysis of an investment for this company. Is what the information you show in regards to the company, what would you conclude about the position of holding an investment or stock in the company? Here are the 4 key areas that I want you to concentrate on. This is the outline of the paper. Introduction and brief history of the company selected. Tell me about the company. When did they begin? A brief history about this company that you've selected. You have 3 financial statements to choose from: the balance sheet, the income statement, and the statement of cash flow. Then you do part 3, the ratio analysis by the classes that I talked about vis-a page 119 of your textbook. And then you come to the conclusion, what you are finding in this analysis that you conclude in relationship to buy, hold, or sell the stock. Your format is the APA format. Times Roman 12 font, double-spaced, 10-page maximum. If you do not follow these guidelines, you will lose points. Time Roman font, 12, double-spaced, 10-page maximum. Now, what do I mean by APA format? If some of you are new to this, that means you should have a title page. You should have an abstract page. What's an abstract page? An abstract page is you state your conclusion at the beginning of the paper of what you're going to try to explain in your paper. For example, if I picked a company, I said, this company you should sell. My conclusion is based on the following example of analysis and research that I have done. I will recommend that you sell the stock if you are holding it of this company. Here are the reasons why. That's the abstract. And then you should have a reference page. A reference page is where you got the information. For most of us, it'll probably be D&B Hoovers. But also you might go outside for other research about the market they're in. You might interview or have discussions with some of your own students or colleagues in study groups. you must state those references where you get that information. So there's 3 pages right there: title, abstract, and reference. Of a 10-page maximum, that leaves you 7 pages left to do your work if you so need it. All right. Again, you have over 2 weeks to do this work. What I suggest you do is you start off with the analysis, try to select a company, feel comfortable with finding the data for that company, and then off you go. The good thing about this is you can call on me with samples, with drafts of your paper. If you have questions about the research, you can ask me. So you, over the span of the next 2 weeks, you can post questions to the discussion board. You can post questions to me in email, text, or contact me, or we have office hours on Thursday nights from 7 to 9. You can come online with WebEx and ask me those questions. The bottom line is I'm looking for a professional, advanced MBA paper to do an analysis of a company and a recommendation and a conclusion by you. Not some financial analyst that you find in the internet, but what you find out in your analysis of this company. This is the first of our 4 case studies, which we will learn in this case to analyze data, and then we'll go on to strategy cases as we move forward through our class. So that's our case study number 1. I hope this helps you get going. If you have any further questions, feel free to call on me. Thanks, everybody. So long for now.